all I knew how to do is try to be great at my craft. And
Yeah.
so because of that, I have a bunch of interviews, but my depression showed up because if you look at all of those interviews I did, you really don't see me. You don't,
Yeah.
you see a black, slate with a question. You don't even hear my voice because
Yeah.
I just didn't have it, and I didn't want to be heard. I didn't want to be seen, but I was the reason why these interviews were great. But
Yeah.
I couldn't show up. Girl, I was on a red carpet one time, and they said, "Oh, who's Studio Q? Who you work for Studio Q?" They had no idea that I was the Q in the studio. That's how invisible I was in my own brand.
What did it take for you to overcome that space and for you to get out in the forefront again and really step into everything that you have to offer?
And day by day, step by step, and not giving up. Baby steps, and just going, people pointing out, where you at? Or asking me like, well, who's Studio Q? Just little bitty things that alerted to me to how invisible. I mean, at first I was cool with it, but as time went on, obviously I was getting stronger and better. And it really, I would say the pandemic, 2020, I was numb, but 2021, because the whole world, had shut down, it also gave me an opportunity to reset.
Yes. Quincy, I have had so many people that I've talked to on here, off camera, that we all have this actual, we all feel like we have to be politically correct and honor the ones who lost their lives and their families that experienced that pain, right? Like, we have to acknowledge the downside of what COVID did. But for the most part, all of us appreciate that ability to just kind of slow down and have a moment of introspection and move away from just the monotony of the day in and the day out of doing your work and going to work and operating your business. We really appreciate that time that it gave us to really look at ourselves, to reevaluate, to reprioritize all the things that it really allowed us to do, because it was imperative. I think it was imperative to the spirit of us as individuals to just sit down, look at our children, look at ourselves, look at our circumstances, look at our finances, evaluate what's important, what's not important. How am I spending my time? What do I need to do versus what have I been wasting my time with? All those things. Yes. So I appreciate you sharing that, because it is so true.
Like, this is big for me, just showing up just like this, because I wasn't even in my own interviews.
Oh, Quincy. Well, I look at you, you're just gorgeous and got the most beautiful teeth. I'm just like, everybody needs to see you all the time, because your energy, when I first met you, your energy is one of the energies that transcends virtual. Like, it just transcends technology. I can feel it. And I talked about you for days after we had our initial interview about how wonderful you were, and like literally one of the best people that I've ever met. So you deserve to be seen. You deserve for people to bask in the glory that God has spoken over you and your spirit and your soul and your business and your life. You're fantastic.